Welcome to Coffee and Conversation with Bell Healthcare Marketing. My name is Ryan Fowles, and I am an executive digital consultant for Bell Healthcare Marketing. We're actually here today to talk about changes and practice improvements during unexpected interruptions. I'm extremely excited. We have a very special guest with us today, Dr. Corey Hartman. He is the founder and medical director of Skin Wellness Dermatology in Birmingham, Alabama. Dr. Hartman frequently speaks on cosmetic procedures and social media marketing in dermatology at meetings all around the country. His injectable skills have earned him the honor of being named an Allergan Advanced Injector Trainer, a regular speaker for SkinCeuticals, and is a brand ambassador for Old Spice. Dr. Hartman, you are a very busy man. Welcome.
Yes, very busy. It seems like even during this slowdown, I've been as busy as I've always been seeing patients, just not seeing patients. So we shifted that over virtually, but still managing to keep quite busy.
I imagine. So I wanted to start with something a little bit funny. When I was preparing for this interview, I did some research on your Instagram account, which you do a fantastic job, by the way. And I actually noticed that you've been honing your skills on a new social app over the past couple of weeks, TikTok.
Yeah, so I was sort of encouraged to do that by not only my friends at Old Spice, but also my son, who really wants to have his own TikTok account. He's 10 years old, and he hasn't really been allowed to do any social media. So I'm testing the waters to see if it's something we'll let him do.
Did he help you set it up?
Yeah, he gave me some pointers, and got me started on my first little dance ditty there with my daughter. He didn't want to participate. He sent us in to do the dirty work. So
he stayed behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, for sure.
Well, it is a very funny video. I watched it and because it gave me a lot of joy. But while we're on the just the subject of technology, I wanted to start off and ask you, what are some of the examples of technology or programs that you either already had in place or that you've put in place to just help get through this unexpected business interruption?
So yeah, we were sort of, knocked over, broadsided by this whole virus and all the changes that it brought about for our practice. And within a matter of days, we had to completely reconfigure how it was that we were interacting with patients and how we were delivering our services to them. Unfortunately, a lot of the things that we are able to do, that we can do in person, we are not able to do right now. But fortunately, we were in a position to still be able to provide as many services for patients as we could. And one of the main tools that helped us to do that was our online store, which has a robust e-commerce component that allowed us to continue to fulfill orders for patients near and far. We gained some more patients and clients through our ability to do that when their doctors and other providers, estheticians, et cetera, couldn't deliver that for them. So that was really helpful. We man the store ourselves, but everything is managed digitally and electronically. So even for patients who are local, who want to come in, when we see them virtually, we encourage them to do all of the transaction online, and we can either ship it to them or we have the ability to let them pick it up during certain hours, which will avoid any potential exposure for the staff, the skeleton staff that we have working right now. So the e-commerce was huge. Another change that we made just a few weeks ago was we upgraded and updated our phone system that would allow patients to call in and have the same experience when they called, but our girls could be at their houses and pick up the phone and transfer extensions and do all the functions that they have in the office from their cell phone.
Oh, wow.
So that Fusion app was really, really helpful as well. But then we quickly discovered that in this new environment with a smaller staff and a smaller crew, phones were not really going to be our friend. We wanted to meet the people where they were, and so we decided that texting was a better option. That way we eliminated the loss of efficiency that voicemails can bring about. A phone call has to be in real time, but a text, you know, if I don't text you immediately back, it's not a big deal if it takes me 20 minutes, but there's no such thing on a phone call. You have to leave a voicemail, and then somebody has to retrieve the voicemail. And then patients, you know, need what they need, and so they're going to keep calling and keep leaving messages, and all that does is prolong the time that we can get to their needs because it's another voicemail to check. So we incorporated a new technology, it's new to us, called Clara, that is, it takes all the patient interaction phone calls and turns it into a text. And it doesn't require another download on their part, but it puts those messages into a portal that allows us to share information with patients through links. We can send documents. We can shuttle that request, comment, question to the appropriate person so that it's not sitting in somebody's voicemail box. It's in a text that you can see and respond to. So those are three things that have really helped us to be able to not really miss a beat and deliver as many of the things as we can deliver. Now, a lot of the things that are really fun for me to do and that patients miss involve my hands and procedures, but you know, there's no way around. We can't do the Botox now, but we're going to do our best with the technology that we do have.
No, and I honestly think that that's great. I know that it seems to be extremely user-friendly, so that's really fantastic. Another topic that I wanted to touch on in this was just geared around messaging. You know, we've all received a lot of different messages, whether that's through email or in social media, et cetera. And I'm just curious, how has your practice's messaging changed during this time, whether that's your social media and blog posts to the way that you communicate with your patients in general?
Well, yeah, it's changed tremendously. I went from posting before and afters of lips to giving updates on rashes that can be associated with the coronavirus. So, you know, initially I wanted to do everything that I could as a physician to just give good information because there's a lot of bad information out there, and just give people some reassurance about, you know, what it was and what it wasn't, how they could avoid it, what they could do if they thought that they had it. And then as we saw how that it was going to impact the way that we delivered services to patients, we changed our messaging again to let them know that we were still here for them, just in a different format. So instead of the regular visits, we're going to have to close the office for a while to keep everybody safe. But this is how we have been able to transition to a platform that will allow us to still give you the care that you need for your skin. So letting people know, look, we're going virtual. This is how we need you to do it. This is how we're going to get medicines in the meantime, and what our system's going to look like right now. Another part of, you know, my personal social media account is just to be a real person. I'm a dermatologist, but I'm also a real person who laughs like everybody else and, you know, has bad days like everybody else. So I thought it was important just to encourage people and let them know this was something that we were all going to get through together, give them some funnies when it was appropriate, lay off some of the more marketing things that we were doing, because really that messaging would fall flat right now. That's not where people are. That's not where mentally a lot of people are able to be right now. So, you know, we just wanted to make sure that we were matching the climate and the temperature of the environment that our country's going through right now. And as time goes on, we see how we can adapt and change. And, you know, as we get through this, get back to normal a little bit more than we have been able to before. So all those things we had to quickly learn to make changes to, and then we also used the Practice website and Practice Facebook and Instagram to let people know about ways that they could save, ways that they could still engage if they needed, you know, products and services, and then some things to look forward to once we're out of this mess, and, you know, get back to normal.
You can really tell how intentional you are, and I think that means a lot. You know, with the research that we've done, it's shown that people trust their doctors, and so it's really great to hear that you've put a lot of thought to it, and it seems that you're extremely intentional with the communication that you're using and the channels that you're using. So let me ask you this. When it's deemed safe for businesses to reopen, do you think that there's going to be a surge of patient demand built up? And if so, how will your practice manage this surge?
Absolutely. Patients are already ready, and we're already thinking about that. We are taking it like in 2-week intervals so that we don't get too far ahead of ourselves, since none of us really knows where we're going to be in 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. So we're keeping people on the schedule as much as we can. We know that we're going to have a big backlog of patients that have already missed their appointments for the last 3 to 4 weeks. Everything, unfortunately, cannot be done through virtual means. So we are already adding some extra hours. We start really early in the morning. We're going to add some extended hours. As patients get back to work, it may not be as easy for them to get off for appointments, and we're going to try to be sensitive to that. We're hiring some more people. We have 2 new nurses that are ready to start as soon as we open to help us with the demand. We may, talk about using, adding days, like for instance, all 4 providers in our office work 4 days a week, but I'm going to go ahead and open up on Fridays and start seeing patients so that we don't have people waiting longer than they need to wait, and so that we can catch up. But yeah, we're looking forward to the surge. I think it's going to be strong. Patients are already excited about some of the things that we've offered as far as discounts, and just, ready to get back to feeling like the way that they used to feel and the way that they want to feel. So I'm excited about that. We're just trying to plan for it.
Yeah, I imagine that you're spending a lot of time planning on it. I know that myself, my wife, we both talked about it. We both have appointments that we need to come, and we're ready. So I imagine there is a lot of people out there that feel the same way. Okay. So let me ask you this: when you are able to open the practice, we know that there are going to be some people that are going to be timid about close personal interaction in general. How is your practice planning to address that fear with patients?
Well, Dr. Fauci has already said that we need to plan to not shake hands for the foreseeable future. I think that's just a really common sense, easy way to prevent a lot of communicable diseases that can be prevented. We're going to continue to wash our hands like we have been. I think everybody's really saw the importance of frequent hand washing through this whole ordeal, which is very helpful. And we're going to continue we're probably going to continue our limited interaction in the office that we started the 2 weeks that we were still open when this began. So we'll have patients wait in their cars still. We had a very good response to that. Patients were excited, and they felt that we had really taken the extra step to protect them and their safety. And we didn't get any pushback on that at all. And it was very efficient and convenient because everybody texts. So we had patients check in and then just wait in their cars. We're going to keep doing that. We're going to, of course, remain as clean as we always have been and step it up a notch, following all OSHA guidelines, but continuing to wipe everything down with wipes that, can handle all of these pathogens that we're dealing with these days. So we're going to keep that same mentality. I think for at least the next month or 2, we will proceed as if we're still dealing with this thing, because in actuality, it's still out there. So we don't want to go back to exactly what we used to do, but we also don't want to go overboard and make it uncomfortable. I think, we're going to get rid of the masks as soon as they say that we can, because that's something that makes the interaction a little less personal. But as long as we need to use it, we will. I think people would prefer the mask to no Botox at all.
Absolutely. So my last question, just in closing, Dr. Hartman, thank you so much for your time. But I did want to give you the opportunity to just say what type of advice would you offer any other practices that are out there as we move forward?
I would say get your technology game in order. This has taught us that if you were not ready, you did not have time to get ready. And people who didn't have an efficient means of delivering services in a way that was not so dependent on having patients come into the office, definitely missed opportunities to continue as much as they could. We were all interrupted, don't get me wrong. What we've been able to continue is a fraction of what we're used to doing, but it's better than nothing. So the fact that we had these things in place, and the fact that we had good systems and we had good staff who are smart and in tune and able to adapt to change at the last minute and the drop of the dime has been very, very helpful to helping us maintain some semblance of a functioning practice. So I would just say to make sure that your technology game is always on point and try to be the tip of the spear.
That's great. That's great. Well, Dr. Hartman, thank you so much. I really appreciate you giving us the time, and I wish you and the practice nothing but the best.
Thanks a lot, Ryan. We appreciate it.